Hello, if we haven't met yet, I'm Betsy Green, and some of you might know me from my website. So, what I wanted to share was things about the marketplace in Chicago. It's very interesting, and there's just so much dynamics at play here. So, one thing I wanted to also share, or certainly to ask, if you knew what is the most important skill that a real estate broker has. It's definitely pricing property correctly. So, what becomes very important for a buyer is value. And also, what becomes very important is that you know, or you have a broker who knows exactly where to price a property. There can be mistakes if you price too high, and there can be grave mistakes if you price too low. And I'll tell you some situations about pricing too high. One analogy would be being on the middle of a trading floor and you're just shouting that you're selling gold for $9,000 an ounce. Probably not going to get any takers. You don't really get another shot at buyers that are currently looking at the market right now, and it changes. And it's not a bad thing, but in Chicago, yes, the marketplace changes from week to week. And if the property is priced too low, then you have people who you just entirely miss the market, because when they're shopping for a home, they know what 2 million buys, they know what 4 million buys, they know what 20 million buys. They're the ones that are searching, and they're looking 24/7. Now you can do that kind of thing. So they're basically experts on today's current market because they're seeing so much real estate. And when it comes to certain areas, they are probably going to narrow things down. So they're not going to see, 40 houses, hopefully not. And there was a time that, yeah, they did have to look at 40 houses. But, those days are gone. Market times are pretty short these days. So they have a range about what they can afford, and that's based on their mortgage lender, unless they're paying cash, and they may have a range based on just what they have chosen to spend. So it's not going to be a big range, so that means you've got to hit the range if you have the kind of house that is going to appeal to that particular buyer. And we certainly don't want to detract the buyers, we want to attract the buyers. Realize this is a beauty contest, and your house is kind of like a commodity, and you really want that house to win the beauty contest. So I'll give you an example also about what happens when the house is priced too low. You totally miss the market, and since the buyers do have a range where they know, they have in mind of what they can get for what price range. It's not going to be a $500,000 to 4 million. It's going to be tighter, and that means that they would have the opportunity to look at a house that's going to match what they can afford. Ergo, if you are pricing too low, it will not work very well at all. So here's an example of a client that I had. They came to me and they were frustrated because they had already had 2 brokers try and fail to sell the house. So I came in as the 3rd listing broker, and I told them exactly what to do. And I said, that means no floral patterns, no patterns at all. We're going to go really solid. And the valances had to come down. And then we did a few things in the garden. So this was a sale that, once all those things were adjusted, I told them they could raise the price now $35,000. And that house sold in November in Chicago for total asking price. And that's another $35,000 that went into the pockets of my clients. So whatever you do, make sure you got a broker that's going to know how to price property correctly.